Hi, we want to look at a question in trig, a general question where we want to express or given cos 13 is equal to t, and we're going to express this or all other trig in this question in terms of t. So there's a question we have, and it tells you that cos 13 is equal to t, and without using a calculator, write the following in terms of t. So first question is, what is cos 193? And what we actually want to do here is rewrite this 193 with using reduction formula. And if we look at 193, we can rewrite 193 reduction formula. Since 193 isn't the third quadrant, 190 plus theta, but in this case, we're going to use 13. So we now have cos of 180 plus 13. If you look at 180 plus 13, remember that's a third quadrant, and in the third quadrant, cos is negative. So we have minus cos 13, and because cos 13 is t, our first one we will get negative t. Okay, we're going to go on to a more challenging question. We now want to find sine 13. So what you got to remember here is if cos 13 is t, as a fraction that's t over 1. And also remember by definition, cos represents x over r. So we know sine 13 is y over r. And you'll notice that cos gives us x over r. So we're going to use Pythagoras to find y. So we know cos 13 is t over 1. As mentioned earlier, that's x over r. And Pythagoras, we know the formula is x squared plus y squared equal to r squared. But we're going to use y squared is equal to r squared minus x squared, since we are finding y and not the radius. So if y squared is equal to r squared minus x squared, the r value is 1, and the x value that we have is t. So we have 1 minus t squared. Then we will find the square root, giving us y to be the root of 1 minus t squared. Remember, we are in the first quadrant, so the y value is positive. And now all we have to do is substitute. We're going to take the y value, since sine is y over r, the y value is root 1 minus t squared over r, and your radius is 1. And we can simplify that to the root of 1 minus t squared. We're going to go to another question called sine 26. So how can we rewrite 26 in terms of 13? What's given? And I'm sure you know that 2 times 13 is 26. So I'm going to write that as 26 can be written as 2 times 13. Now this creates a double angle, and we're going to use the double angle formula. If you remember your double angle formula, sine 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cos theta, and in this case theta is represented by 13. So we have 2 sine 13 cos 13, and then we're going to substitute. We know what sine 13 is, we found it, and we know that cos 13 is t. And by substitution, we now have 2 sine 13 is replaced with root of 1 minus t squared, and cos 13 is replaced with t. And there we have sine 26 now represented as 2t root 1 minus t squared. Going on to our next one, cos 58. Remember, I want to rewrite this with a 13 in it, and my best bet on this one is to bring in a special angle. Just to remind you, for those of you not seeing that, 58, we can write that with a 45 plus 13. So we have 58 being written as 45 plus 13. And this now produces what we call a compound angle. And we're going to use a compound angle formula which states that cos 45 plus 13, that will be cos cos minus sin sin. And implementing that formula, we have cos 45, cos 13, plus changes to minus, sin 45, sin 13. Now cos 45 is a special angle, which is root 2 over 2. So we're going to replace that with root 2 over 2. Cos 45 is root 2 over 2. Cos 13 is given to be t. I'm substituting that. Minus sin 45 is also a special angle, root 2 over 2. And sin 13 we found above, which is root of 1 minus t squared. And then you'll notice we can pull out a common factor. Root 2 over 2 is common. And we can simplify that to root 2 over 2 into t minus root of 1 minus t squared. Thank you.